Hello candidates, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well at home. We are going to continue from where we stopped. Remember, we had introduced ourselves to our new topic, fractions. And today we are going to look at addition and subtraction of fractions. Okay, so today our new lesson is addition and subtraction of fractions. In our first example, we shall say simplify 5/6 minus a third plus a half minus a fifth. So in addition and subtraction of fractions, example 1 says simplify 5/6 minus a third plus a half minus a fifth. So here, a number comes when it has more than one operation. So here you are seeing subtraction, addition, subtraction. So in this case, what you do, you're going to follow the order of body mass. So we are going to rewrite our number 5/6 minus a third plus a half minus a fifth. So we are going to follow the order of body mass. And it is this, the order of body mass states that brackets, of which we don't have any brackets there, there is no any of there, division, we don't see any division there, multiplication is not seen there, so we have only subtraction and addition. So addition and subtraction, which one comes first? It is the addition. So addition comes first. So in this situation, what you are going to do, you are going to identify these fractions with their signs. So for example, this a fifth goes along with that sign. So a fifth is a negative fraction. Then this a half is a positive fraction. A half is a positive fraction. Then this a third is a negative fraction. And this other one, the 5/6 is a positive fraction. There is a positive hidden there. Now, so you are going to rearrange them beginning with addition. We are going to take the two fractions, this and this first, then this and this last. So we shall come and say 5 out of 6 or 5/6 plus a half. Then now we now bring in the subtraction fraction last, that is minus a third minus a fifth. So by so doing that, you have arranged them in the order of body mass, and quickly now, the next thing you're going to look for is the lowest common denominator of all these denominators. In our lesson 2, we already know how to get the what? The lowest common denominators. So we shall say our lowest common denominator of 6, 2, 3, 5. 6, 2, 3, 5. And remember, we do this by prime factorizing. Okay? So we shall prime factorize these denominators so that we can get one common denominator. So by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Here is impossible, you write that 3. Here is also impossible, you write 5. Then again, when you are to consider 2, none of this can be divided by 2, so you skip 2, you go by 3. 1, 1, 1, 5. 5 cannot be divided by 3, so you maintain it. Then now by 5, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you're going to multiply 2 times 3 times 5. And here I get 6 times 5, which is 30. So our lowest common denominator of all these fractions, of all these denominators, is 30. So this was our side work. So here we are going to draw a quotient line, and below it we shall put the what? The 30. So this 30 is going to be divided by each of these denominators. So this still falls for your side work. So we shall have 30 divided by the first denominator, which is 6, giving us 5. And that 5 multiplied by the numerator 5, which gives us 25. Then you bring the 25 here. So you are done with the first fraction. Then you go to the second fraction, which is a half. And so we are considering the denominator. So we are going to divide this 30 divided by this denominator 2, which gives us 15. 15 times the numerator is 1, which gives us 15. Bring the addition sign and write this 15 here. Then you now bring the subtraction sign now. We have moved on to the next fraction. So 30 divided by 3 gives us 10 times the numerator 1, which gives us 10. So you put the 10 there. Then again you bring this subtraction sign. Now we are on the last fraction. 30 divided by 5, you get 6 times the numerator 1, which is 6. So we bring your 6 here. So now you can see everything we are almost now finishing. So when you add this, what do we get? You can still consider your side work so that you are very sure when you don't just guess. So you're going to add 25 plus 15 to give us here 10, to give us here 40. So we shall get here 40 minus 10 minus 6 out of 30. Out of 30. So let's first take this only. So 40 minus 10, you get 30. Minus now the 6. Still out of your 30. So what will you get here? You will get 24 out of 30. However, this fraction here can be reduced. Remember I told you, you can reduce a fraction, especially if there is a number that is common that can be used to divide both 24 and 30. So by 2, we get here 12. By 2, we get here 15. Okay? So again, by 2 can divide 12, but it can't divide 15, so you ignore 1 and 2. You go to a 3. So 12 divided by 3, you get 4. 15 divided by 3, you get 5. So now 4 and 5, there is no any other number that can reduce this. So your final answer is 4 out of 5. Then double and line. That is our example 1. So addition and subtraction of fractions. If you are given a number with more than one sign, having the addition and subtraction, identify the number with the fraction with its sign, go on, arrange it, as you have identified, arrange beginning with addition first, then subtraction last. Come get the lowest common denominator and proceed with your working. Let's look at example 2. Example 2. And in our example 2, it says simplify 6 whole numbers, 2/5 minus 3 whole numbers, 3/6. This is 3/5 plus 1 whole number, 3/10. Okay? Now, in our example 2, simplify 6 whole numbers, 2/5 minus 3 whole numbers, 3/5 plus 1 whole number and 3/10. So in a situation where you are seeing a number having whole numbers in every fraction, in every number there is a whole number, still rewrite your number again. 6 whole number, 2/5 minus 3 whole numbers, 3/5 plus 1 whole number, 3/10. So begin by arranging using BODMAS. Okay? So with subtraction and addition, which one comes first? It is addition. So first, identify each fraction with its sign. This one will go along with that. This fraction goes along with this sign. And now this, we shall take this a positive fraction first, 6 whole numbers, 2/5, then plus 1 whole number, 3/10, then subtraction comes last, 3 whole numbers, 3/5. Okay? So you have arranged the fraction according to BODMAS. So you will first add, then you subtract. So in a situation where you have each of these fractions, each of these numbers have got whole numbers. So we can first deal with the whole numbers first. Okay? So we shall first deal with the whole numbers first. So we shall say 6 whole number, we are adding it to that 1 whole number. Then we shall subtract the 3 whole numbers. So you have first of all identified the whole numbers alone. Then you now deal with the fractions alone. Okay? So we shall now have 2/5 plus this other fraction, 3/10, then minus the other fraction, 3/5. Okay? So here you have first dealt with only the whole numbers and then the fractions alone. Okay? Now, if you added this, you will get 7 minus 3 plus, let's go now and get the lowest common denominator of all these denominators. Which one is the lowest common denominator? So our lowest common denominator of these denominators, 5, 10, 5. So what is the lowest common denominator? So the lowest common by 2. 2 cannot be divided by 5, you maintain the 5. 10 can be divided by 2, you get 5. 5 cannot be divided by 2, you maintain the 5. Then automatically by 5, you get 1, 1, 1. Okay? So we shall now multiply this. That is 2 times 5, which gives us 10. So our lowest common denominator is 10. So you are going to draw a quotient line here. Okay, put that 10. Now this 10 is going to be divided by this first denominator 5, which gives us 2, times the numerator 2, which gives us 4. Bring the 4 here, bring your addition sign. Okay, and then you have 10 again, the denominator, the lowest common denominator, divided by this denominator 10, which gives us 1, times the numerator 3, which gives us 3. So you come and write your 3 there. Okay, then now you bring in the subtraction, and you first get the lowest common denominator divided by this denominator 5, which gives us 2. Okay, then times the numerator 3, which gives us 6. Okay, now in our whole numbers, in dealing with our whole numbers, we saw that 6 plus 1 gives us 7, and then minus this 3, you get 4, plus, in the fraction side, we have simplified it, so we now have here, we have to first add this 2, and what will you get? 7 minus 6 out of 10. So which gives us 4 plus 7 minus 6 is 1 out of 10. And now you can see your answer is 4 whole numbers and a 10. 4 whole numbers and a 10. Then you double and align. Then you double and align. So this is how you handle a number that has a subtraction and addition sign. Identify, first arrange them in order. That is, beginning with addition. The fractions will move. You will bring this addition, this fraction added to this, then last this, and proceed with your working. Okay? In our example 3, in our example 3, simplify, let me get the number, simplify 2 minus a third plus a quarter. Okay? In our example 3, it says simplify 2 minus a third plus a quarter. Remember, this 2 is a whole number. We should make it also a fraction. So in rewriting it here, we shall have 2 make it also a fraction. Any number that is just a whole number, to make it a fraction, you say out of 1 minus a third plus a quarter. So bring in the other aspect of body mass. Bring in the aspect of body mass. Body mass. And we have seen that we shall always, whenever you have 2 signs, that is addition and subtraction and addition, we shall consider addition first. So identify this fraction goes along with that sign, and this fraction goes along with that sign. So this fraction, this fraction here is a positive fraction. So we shall begin with adding, then subtracting last. So we shall have 2 out of 1 plus a quarter, then minus a third. So now I think you are getting now familiar to this. So there we shall go direct into finding the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator of all these 3 denominators, that is 1, 4, and 3. Okay? I hope you're following. By 2, 1, 2, 3. Then by 2, 1, 1, 3. Then by 3, 1, 1, 1. So we multiply this. So we shall have 2 times 2 times 3. Okay? So this will give us 4 times 3, which is 12. So our lowest common denominator is 12. Draw your quotient line, a division line, put there 12. Keep dividing this 12 by each of these denominators. So 12 in our side work here, 12 divided by this first denominator 1, you get 12. Times the numerator 2, you get 24. Okay? Come and write your 24 here. Add. Remove the second fraction. 12 divided by 4. This denominator, it gives us 3. Times the numerator 1, which gives us 3. Bring your 3 here. Bring the subtraction sign. 12 divided by 3, you get 4. Times the numerator 1, which gives us 4. Bring your 4 there. So now work out this and get the answer. So what is 24 plus 3? You get 27 minus 4 out of 12, which finally gives us 23 out of 12. But remember, the answer you have got is an improper fraction. So you need to simplify it further to a mixed number. Never leave your answer like that. So you ask yourself, how many times does 12 go into 23? How many times does 12 go into 23? So if you realize that 12 goes into 23 only once. If you say 12 times 2, that is again 24. It is beyond 23. So 12 goes into 23 only once. And that is the one whole number. Okay? And what will be the remainder? Just subtract to get the remainder. 23 minus 12. So you get here 1. So it means 12 goes into 23 once, which is one whole number. Remainder 11, which is our numerator, out of that very denominator 12. So your final answer is one whole number and 11 12. Okay? We'll move on to example 4. Move on to example 4. Let's clean here. In our example 4, it says simplify 3 whole numbers, 2/3 plus 2 whole numbers, 5/8 minus 1 whole number, 5/6. So we shall rewrite our number, 3 whole numbers, 2/3 plus 2 whole numbers, 5/8 minus 1 whole number, 5/6. So I told you, you arrange these fractions according to body mass. And we have seen that in a situation where you have addition and subtraction, addition will come first, then subtraction will come last. So here we shall arrange. First, we shall identify each fraction with its sign, this fraction with its sign. So we can see that already this fraction is arranged in the right order of addition first, then subtraction last. So here we shall now just first deal with, what? With the whole numbers first, since whole numbers appear in each of the fractions. So we shall say 3 plus 2, then minus 1. Then now we bring in the fractions, plus 2 thirds plus 5/8, then minus 5/6. Okay? So in dealing with whole numbers first, you can see when you add 3 plus 2, you get 5 minus this one, plus we move on into now the fractions. This is where you need to first find the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator of all these fractions, these denominators, 3, 8, 6. So by factorization, so by 2 is 3, by 2 here is 4, by 2 here is 3, then by 3, 1. So actually before even we move to 3, there is a number that can be divided by 2, which is 4. So by 2, 3, here 2, here 3, still by 2, 3, 1, 3. Then now we can move to 3. So by 3, 1, 1, 1. So we shall multiply all this. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2, 2 times 3. So we shall get here 4 times 6, which is 24. So our lowest common denominator is 24. Come and write your quotient line there. Put the 24 down. 24 divided by 3. 24 divided by this 3 gives us 8. And 8 times this 2 gives us 16. Come and write 16 here. Add 24 divided by 8. 24 divided by 8 is 3 times the 5, which is 15. Write 15 here, minus 24 divided by 6. So we can have 24 divided by 6, which gives us 4 times the numerator 5, which gives us 20. So come and write the 20 here. So on the side of whole numbers, you have 5 minus 1 plus, on the side of the fractions, you have now worked out and you have to first add this. And what is 16 plus 15? 16 plus 15, you get here 11, 31. So we shall have here 4. Because 5 minus 1 is 4, plus we have added 16 plus 15 to give us 31, minus 20 out of the 24. Okay? So minus 20, we shall get here 1, here 1. Okay? So we shall get here 4 plus 11 out of 24. And which finally gives us 4 whole number, 11 out of 24. Okay? 4 whole numbers, 11 out of 24. That is our example 4. We move on to example 5. Move on to example 5. This one we shall have it in words. They say a boy had a jerry can full of water. Okay, he used 13 out of 20. Okay, what fraction remain? Okay, so we can also have an example 5 now. Example 5 in word form. Okay, a boy had a jerrycan full of water. He used 13 out of 20. What fraction remain? Remember, a boy had a jerrycan of water. So a jerrycan of water is a whole, is one whole. Okay? So for you to get a fraction that remain, you're going to subtract fraction used. First of all, you're going to say fraction used is 13 out of 20. Then now you're going to say fraction that remain will be a whole jerrycan minus 13 out of 20. Okay, this whole represents 20. So we shall have 20 out of 20 minus 13 out of 20. This whole is this 20. Okay? So we shall have here, we have the same denominators. So we shall just subtract 20 minus 13 out of 20. And we shall remain with 7 out of 20. So this is the fraction that remains. Okay? In our last example, that is example 6, it is also going to be in word form. In our example 6, they are saying the perimeter of a triangle. A perimeter of a triangle is 9 whole numbers, 5/6 centimeters. Okay, two of the sides, two of the sides are 3 whole numbers and 6 centimeters, and 2 whole numbers and 5 out of 8 centimeters. What is the length of the third side? Okay, in our last example we are seeing, let's read together. The perimeter of a triangle is 9 whole numbers, 5 out of 6 centimeters. 2 of the sides are 3 whole numbers and 6 centimeters, and 2 whole numbers and 5 centimeters. What is the length of the third side? So to illustrate to you a little bit, to remind you, if you have a triangle like this, okay, this is the side, this is the side, this is the side. A triangle has got 3 sides, but we know how they get the perimeter of a triangle. You add all the sides, and already you've been given its perimeter in total, and you have been given 2 of the sides, as in being this side, let's say, is 3 whole numbers and 6 centimeters, and this other side is 2 whole numbers and 5/8 centimeters. Now what is this side? So you should be able to interpret this question properly. if you know the perimeter, it means if you added these two sides first, the answer you get after adding these two sides, you now subtract it from 9 whole numbers and what? To get this side. Okay? So we shall first begin by adding these two sides. Okay? So we shall say, we shall subtract 9, we shall have 9 whole number, 5 out of 6, minus what we shall have got from adding these two. So minus, we shall first add 3 whole numbers and a 6 plus 2 whole numbers and 5, 8. Okay? So we need to first add these two. Okay? Then the answer we get from here, we shall subtract this, we'll subtract the answer here. Are we together? So we begin. We shall now have 9 whole number, 5 out of 6, minus. So let's begin with this addition first. So we shall have the whole numbers added first, that is 3 plus 2. Then the fractions added also alone, separately, plus 6 plus 5, 8. Okay? So what shall we get here? Let's first keep maintaining this. 9 whole number, 5, 6.